My name's Daniel Riley. I'm the proud CEO of Blu-Bin, America's first 3D print shop. Blu-Bin got started about 4 years ago. The idea got started about 4 years ago, back when I was at school at Green Mountain College. And just a crazy idea. I was passionate about technology. I figured, why not? I'm young and dumb, I'll go for it. So 4 years later, I graduated from GMC and got some desk job down in New York City that wasn't really challenging me, so I figured I'd come up here and start it up. I wanted to start it in this town because the town's done so much, like for me, and I wanted to give back. And plus, I love Vermont.
My name is David Newlands. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Blu-Bin Inc. I've lived in Vermont for 5 years now. I am originally from the Turks and Caicos Islands in the Caribbean, but I came to Poultney for Green Mountain College. Blu-Bin was introduced to me by my friend Daniel, the CEO. He originally pitched it to me while I was working in Turks and Caicos, and I'm a huge nerd, so when he told me about 3D printing, I jumped on it. Mostly what attracted me to it was the idea, which Blu-Bin stood for, which is putting 3D printing technology in the hands of the average person. I mean, the technology's been around for 30 years, but no one seems to know it exists until now, and we're trying to make that process go even faster by letting anyone walk into the store with an idea and walk out with an example of 3D printing, their ideas made real.
My name is Sharif Tarver, and I'm a student here at Green Mountain College in Poultney, and I came into Blu-Bin today to get an iPhone 5 case made. Behind me is an eagle that I drew, symbolizing Green Mountain College's athletic department.
My name is Chisani Kuriawa, and I'm the Director of Public Relations of Blu-Bin. Well, I'm from the islands of Fiji, in the South Pacific. For the smaller islands, we have only one university for the whole region. So I wanted something different, something totally different from the tropical weather. So I moved up to Vermont, and they said it snowed a lot.
3D printing has been compared to the internet. 3D printing has been compared to the third industrial revolution. I would argue it's bigger than both. I would say that when we're talking about a technology that can reshape every physical object we encounter, that's pretty big. If you really wanted something, and you couldn't have it just because it wasn't in the store or it wasn't available to you. Or maybe you had a crazy idea for something that, yeah, I think this work. Or you like jury rig something that would fix your problem, and you're like, hey, I'm sure tons of people out there have this exact same problem. That's the reason why I started this, because 3D printing allows personalized creation, personalized design. If you have a great idea now, you gotta go out and get patents, you gotta have a factory somewhere to tool up for it, and all this process that's really a barrier between the good ideas that are everywhere and, well, getting those good ideas into people's hands. One of the cool things about Poultney is that the spoon fishing rod, what you're seeing right here, was invented around here. So we figured we had to start 3D printing with you. Well, that's what this is. So 3D printing, a kid can walk in here with an idea for a new toy, or a business person can walk in here and say, I've got this part that I need, or a company owner can say, I want to do a short-run production of this just to test the market. They can do that. We can do that in a matter of hours compared to other ways of doing it, which would take months, years.
One of the things we deal with at Blu-Bin is, as a small company, we speak to a lot of investors to help us grow. And investors never like to hear that everyone is your customer. But with 3D printing, that is completely true. You can make anything under the sun that, as long as it can be made into a digital file, it can be created with a 3D printer. So while they might want you to say, hey, our customer is a male between the ages of 16 and 25 for this product, we could just as likely have an old man who wants a replacement part for his table saw come in, and we can produce that for him. Everyone's our customer. We primarily use plastics, ABS plastic, which is a very common plastic. They use it in Legos. It's 100% recyclable. We have a machine that can recycle it and turn it back into filament. We also use PLA plastic, which is a corn-based biodegradable plastic. There's also other variations. There's wooden filament, which we don't currently have in stock, but we can use, nylons, several other forms of plastic.
So what this machine is it's a filament extruder. It's made by a company out of Massachusetts called Open Source 3D Printing. The machine's called a fill extruder. And essentially what we're doing is we're taking old prints and essentially we're grinding them up and we're making them into the filaments that we need to put into our 3D printers. So we can use, soda bottles, detergent bottles, any kind of, used plastic that people don't need anymore. There's no reason to throw it out. There's no reason to throw it in a traditional recycling. Just recycle it with us, and we can turn it into the things you want. Everything that we print that we don't use, we actually recycle using this machine, because why would you waste good inventory? And actually, the printing process requires a little bit of support material. So there's a layer of material at the bottom that then gets popped off at the end and it's not sold to the customer. That stuff can also be ground up into here. And so yeah, there's no wasted material in our process. Vermont is a very interesting place to be a new company. There's some really awesome things, like the grant that we got in the beginning to help us get more machines and get us really up and rolling, and also just the size of the state. It's not a large state, there's not a lot of people here, so you can just ring up the head of half of these companies and say, hey, what's it like doing business in this state? And honestly, that's what I did. I called almost 300 CEOs across the state, just cold called them or cold emailed them, said, hey, I'm a new CEO, can you help me out? So since we last spoke, a lot of things have happened at Blu-Bin. We had a great opportunity that opened up, Center of Creativity and Design in Vermont, right here on Church Street in Burlington, and we went for it. And we're going to be opening up in September, and I'm really excited about it. From the get-go, Blu-Bin has had the core mission of getting 3D printing, this incredible technology, this magical opportunity, into people's hands. And I feel like the Church Street ethos, the idea where, this center of creativity of Vermont, just walk in, see what's going on, that whole idea, we had a little bit of it in Poultney where people would walk in and do some really creative stuff, but on Church Street, I think that we can really take it to the next level and get a whole bunch of people in, get everyone seeing our 3D printers, and really get the magic into people's hands.